Hey everybody, this is Jasmine with Ethereal Pathways. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to do another channeled collective message for you guys to see what you need to know for your highest and greatest good at this time. This is going to be current energy and it's going to be for your healing and ascension journey. I've already cleansed this space as I always do before I record with some Palo Santo and some prayers. And I'm going to tap into the energy and see what messages need to be channeled through. I'm going to do some pre-channeled, maybe words of confirmation. It could be names, it could be numbers, any number of things, okay? And it could be some messages mixed in there too. And then I'm going to pull from the confirmation card deck. And I am splitting out the decks of these cards that I create because this is getting so big. I've split out the crystals in a separate deck and then chakras in a separate deck as I was guided to do. So I may be adding to these decks as I go, as I'm guided to, because I was guided to add another stone this morning after I cleansed the space before I started recording. I was guided to look up this new stone that I got from a spiritual shop. I asked the lady, I told her what I was working on and asked her guidance on which ones. And this celestite, this blue celestite, you can see it's a very light shade of blue. You can probably see it better up behind the back. You see? Barely see it's like a very almost like a see-through light blue. And I added that to my stone deck. So if it comes out today, a lot of times what I've noticed this, it's not all the time, but a lot of times when I'm guided to add a new stone right before recording, it'll come out in that recording. It tends to come out sometimes. So we'll see. But I'm going to tap into the messages and see what needs to come through for your highest and greatest good at this time. And again, this is current energy. Take what resonates for you and leave what doesn't resonate for you for someone else, because I will channel through some signs of confirmation for you and some for other people. And it doesn't matter however long ago I post this video, I always put the intention when I record these that those who need to find these messages will find them in divine timing, okay? Okay, thank you, Spirit. Please give me signs of confirmation for the collective signs of confirmation that they will know that this is their message and or messages that I need to convey. I'm going to look up what I'm hearing here. I was hearing morganite. I've never heard of this stone before. Again, I'm learning just with you guys, okay, channeling this information. So I had never heard of morganite. I was like, okay, is this maybe just Morgan the name? And I asked for clarification with Spirit, and I heard again, morganite. So I was like, okay, let me look this up. So I'll be adding this to my crystal deck as crystals that can assist people. So the morganite, it says, all right, oh, it's like a pink with a little bit of black in it. It's pretty. Might be for heart chakra. I was literally going to say heart chakra, but that's what it says. Okay. Morganite with its clear peach pink innocence embodies the first pale rays of sunrise that swells the heart and warms the soul, releasing a sense of smallness in a vast universe and opening to the overwhelming presence of a higher power. This is a crystal of divine love. Wow. Oh, I just got goosebumps, you guys. It brings healing, compassion, and assurance and promise. With its gentle pink energy, morganite tunes to the heart and the heart chakra. It cleanses the emotional body of stress and anxiety, old wounds, and hidden traumas. I'm getting goosebumps all over you guys. Signs of confirmation from Spirit. Thank you. And enkindles lightness within the spirit as if a burden has been lifted. It brings in the frequency of divine compassion, inspiring the awareness that life, suffering, and pain served a higher purpose in our spiritual growth. I'm getting goosebumps again. And can be a catalyst for moving forward in peace and confidence. Yes, Spirit, thank you. This crystal also attracts the abundance of love into one's life and assists it in maintaining that love as it continues to grow. It encourages loving thoughts and actions, consideration and responsibility, and being receptive to love from others. As a crystal of the heart, it may be used to attract one's soulmate or a deepening in a current relationship. It inspires joy and reverence for life and increases the opportunities which allow one to experience the unconditional love of the divine. I'm going to add this to my obviously my channeled words sheet here, but also I'm going to add a card for that in my crystal deck. Hey, thank you, Spirit. Thank you for these things. That's what we need to heal. I'm going to be getting some of that myself. I definitely needed that. All right. Thank you, Spirit. Any other signs of confirmation and messages that the collective needs to know at this time for their highest and greatest good? Okay. Whoops. Some cards. Sorry. Saffordite. I was hearing saffordite, and that's I think, a new stone that I just added. So we'll see what comes out whenever I pull the crystal deck. And I've already pre-shuffled these decks. Big one again on our pre-shuffle. Introspection is needed. I split the deck. I am sorry. I think somebody wants to come in and say they're sorry, or somebody feels sorry for maybe hurting somebody. Again, it comes from a place of wounding. A lot of times we don't know we do it. Okay. Release and fully grieve past on loved ones so you can heal. That Morganite will assist that. I'm so sorry came out again when I split it. I'm telling you, somebody wants to come in and say they're sorry. Okay, I'm going to just shuffle this one more time. You may be seeing threes. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. All right, maybe seeing threes. Threes, and then I'm going to write down that someone wants to say they're sorry. We'll see if it comes out when I do pull those later. Sorry for hurting you. And then grieve past loved ones, because that directly ties into the Morganite. What other signs of confirmation do you have for the collective at this time? Peach Moonstone is coming out again. So I think that came out a couple days ago. So you may be guided to get Peach Moonstone to also assist. And you could use a lot of these crystals in conjunction with each other. Like hold one in one hand, hold one in the other while you're praying and meditating. Asking God for, healing. Archangel, I'm getting Archangel Chamuel as well. Again, we'll see what comes out in the deck when I pull these. We might get some confirmation on some of these that may come out in the cards. And Azrael. So Chamuel assists healing your heart space and from broken relationships, the healing relationships. Okay. Again, if somebody wants to come in and say they're sorry, that's Archangel Chamuel assisting with that. Okay. And healing this broken relationship. Maybe it's something that, never got off the ground or, started to, and then it got blown up, so to speak, by wounding and things. Okay. Whatever it is, just take it however it resonates. Okay. Archangel Chamuel and Azrael, write that down. Azrael assist people with grieving from losses of passed on loved ones. So there could be another layer of grief release that you need to go through. I'm actually going through the same thing myself, but I feel like as a collective, we are being asked to pull back the layers, especially around the full moon that happened yesterday, as another layer of grieving and healing that we need to do and release on. We're always in a process of healing throughout our lives, even if this happened 20, 30 years ago. Okay. All right. That's right. And I feel like a lot of you, it's plagued your relationships because this hasn't been fully grieved. And you need another layer of emotional release and acceptance and to come to some peace about it. Spirit, thank you for these messages. What else does the collective need to know besides the confirmation? I'm seeing 711 in my mind's eye. 222. Thank you, Spirit. I just heard redondite as another stone, and that's in my stone deck as another healing stone. It looks like this. It looks like pink camo. Okay. That's the best way I use it to describe it. It looks like pink camo. It's got like some light pink mixed with brown in it. And again, I always say this in my messages that make sure you get your crystals from a reputable place. Don't order them from Amazon or somewhere because you don't know what you're getting. A lot of times there's fakes out there. It could be resin, it could be glass, especially if it's a bracelet. I've noticed that. There's a lot of scams out there where they say they're selling a crystal bracelet, like a little beaded bracelet, and it's not. It's fake. It's like resin. Okay, I'm just channeling a word here. Again, these are different words that could resonate for certain people. Take only what resonates for you. I'm hearing subsidiary. So maybe some of you have an established business and maybe you are creating a subsidiary. Again, take it however it resonates. I just heard request for peace, and then I heard truce. Okay. So I'm going to put request for peace / truce. Okay. So maybe that's this person I'm feeling that wants to come back and say they're sorry. They want to come in and ask to make peace with you and come to a truce. They've learned some lessons. They've learned what they did and they feel pretty bad. And now it's come full circle. I feel like on them. And now they're wanting to make peace and come to a truce and have whatever happen as it may between you two. Again, this is free will choice. For both of you, whether, you want to move forward with, something evolving from that. I'm just sharing the message. Okay. Sorry. I'm not laughing out of reverence. Spirit is so funny. So if you're Star Trek fans, this is going to be for you. Resistance is futile. I just got that so heavy. It was so clear. Resistance is futile. My goodness. So that's goes along with the Borg. That's what the Borg says in Star Trek. So if you're a Trekkie fan, like I am, that's funny. I just thank you, Spirit. Thank you for the laugh. I needed that. I needed that. Resistance is futile. I feel like this is, okay, this is in regards to a divine connection, okay? So if you are resonating that you're pretty sure or you're questioning you're in a divine connection, like a divine counterpart or like a twin flame kind of situation, resistance is futile in that situation. You have to surrender to it because it doesn't matter. It's happened to me. It doesn't matter how much time goes by that you're in separation, no contact with them. Years can go by and they're still popping up in your energy. There's still signs and synchronicities popping up every day for me, for my twin. And I used to push it away. I used to distract, like, no, I'm not going to do that. But I've just learned to surrender it and laugh when it comes in, just kind of like not in a malicious way, but just like laugh. Okay. Thank you, Spirit, and just learn to surrender to it and then realize that that is the truth. This person is the other half of my soul and you can't resist that. Like it is an energetic thing. Eventually, when you come into inner union, they may or may not show up in your outer world, but you have to release that. You have to surrender to it because it doesn't matter what relationship I'm in. I mean, I still see every day, I still see signs for my twin or his name. I'm just going to share this with you guys because I had to laugh the other day and I'm going to share what happened with me because it goes directly along with what I'm talking about here about the resistance. You can't resist because it's going to happen regardless, whether you want it to or not. You just have to surrender to it and just accept that they are your other half and that they're always going to be in your energy, regardless of who you're with and who you're moving on with, and choose to love, no matter where they're at in their journey and whether you're in contact or not. And so I've been learning that. And as I went through this recent ending of a karmic dating relationship that I was in for the last year, I was just sitting there. I was working, I work from home for my day job, and I'm sitting there and I like to listen to podcasts and videos, and in the background as I'm working along. And I started this video and I'm sitting there working away, and this woman, it was a replay of a live stream that was done previously, and they were just it was like a replay on YouTube. And I'm just sitting there listening, and she's talking to people as they're coming in. She's given about, 5-10 minutes for people to come in, get the notification and come in before she starts. And she starts talking to the people, as a lot of people in lives do. She's talking to the people as they come in, and I'm sitting there typing away, and I hear her say, "Hey, so-and-so," and I don't want to share my twin's name. She says, "Hey, so-and-so," and then it caught my attention because it was his name. And then right after that, a few seconds later, she goes, "Hey, Jasmine," and I stopped, my eyes and my mouth open, my eyes pop out of my head, and I was like, "Oh my gosh." And I stopped it and I rewound it to make sure I was hearing it right. Because again, I'm second guessing this. And sure enough, it was the name of my twin and my name back to back. And she was talking to both of them back to back, like after that. And I was like laughing. I'm like, this Spirit, there's no way that you're giving me signs and synchronicities that this person is in my energy. They're never going to go away. I just need to surrender to this. And it really feels hard. I feel like because I was trying to move on in a state of denial in a way, like I released him in love and everything when I created boundaries and created no contact until, we could both change and he can heal and get out of a situation. And so I was trying to move on, and I feel like I wasn't surrendering to the connection. I was still in a state of denial and running away. Can't change that he is my twin. I can't change that, but I can change how I react to the signs. And instead of pushing them away and denying them, just accept when they come and say, "Hi, I love you," because that's the other part of myself. That's my masculine side. And I have to learn to accept that side as part of me. And so I'm learning as I go, but I just wanted to give you guys, share a little bit of that story because it was so crazy how I'm in the middle of, trying to make this ending with this person. And then that came up and I was like, that's so crazy how it happens like that. I had a dream about him about 3 weeks ago too. And I don't remember most of my dreams, but if I have one right before I wake up or it'll cause me to wake up, that's usually a significant dream. And I jot it in my dream journal on my phone app. And so it was crazy because a year ago when I began this other relationship, I'm sharing this, I'm just guided to share this, okay? You could fast forward for this if you don't want to hear it. but I'm guided to share it because maybe some of you are questioning the signs and synchronicities you're getting, and maybe you're in denial. Maybe you're going through the same thing. But anyway, I had a dream about a year ago, about a month or so after I started talking to this other man, and we had talked as friends to get to know each other for a month before we decided to step more into a romantic sense and started dating. And I remember about the time we shifted into the romantic part, me and this person I just got a relationship with, we had a high spiritual connection. I do believe that he was very intuitive. He has like predictive dreams, like prophetic dreams a lot of times. Or he picks up on energy in his dreams. He has very vivid dreams and he remembers like a lot of details every night. And he and I had a very similar dream the same night, and we woke up about the same time, and then we called each other and told each other about it. And I've never had that experience with anybody in my life. So I started questioning whether he was maybe my real twin. I was starting to question things because I'm like, I've never had that kind of a connection with somebody. And what it was I was sharing with him about my twin, and I was really still caught up on him and trying to get over him and everything like that, like emotionally, and what had happened and how I felt betrayed and all this stuff. And I was picking up on him feeling like she needs to let this person go kind of thing. And so I was at the point where I was feeling safe enough with this person to allow myself to release my twin in a sense, so I can move forward with my life and try to make myself happy. And that like right at that time, we had a very similar dream, like I said, the same night, where I was like in this big old house with a lot of people. It was like a party or something, like maybe a birthday party for my daughter. I don't remember. I think that's what it was, but there was a lot of people there. There was a lot of maybe family and friends. I don't even know who most of these people were. But it was a big house. And, I was walking around, seeing everybody, making sure cake and all this stuff. I don't know what. We were just staying busy. And then there's a ring at the doorbell. And this person I was dating went and answered the door. Maybe it was his house or his parents' house. I don't know. And he comes and gets me because it was my twin that showed up at the door asking for me. And he was like, well, who are you? And he told him who he was. And he was like, oh, okay, I know who you are now. And he says, all right, let me go get her real quick and then see, she wants to talk or whatever. So he came and got me, and I was like, wow, okay, all right, yeah, let him in, bring him back in the den, the sitting room, so we can sit and talk alone in peace, and quiet. And so he went and got him, and he brought him in, and then I said, I got this good, can you give us a few minutes? And he was like, sure, okay. So he walked away. Highly protective, my ex-boyfriend he was a big time protector of women and children. And he left the room. So my twin started talking and saying, first of all, I want to say, I'm sorry. I really didn't mean to hurt you. Again, it's out of wounding. And I apologized to him too. We made peace. And I don't remember exactly the whole conversation, but it basically was him coming in to make peace and say he was sorry. And I was letting him know. I feel like he wanted to see if there's an opening there to maybe become friends again and maybe, go into a romantic sense is what I was picking up on. And I let him know that actually I'm ready to move on with this other person that now I'm broke up with. But in my dream, I was just starting to date. And I said, I'm going to go ahead and move on forward with this person. But I still love you. And I'll always love you. That will never change. And, maybe we can stay connected. We'll see, as friends. But thank you for coming and, apologize. I'm glad we made peace with each other so we could both move on. And he was like, okay, all right, And what was weird was I ended up going out on a walk around the block with whoever I was with, my daughter and then these people. I don't know if one of them was my stepmom from Georgia. And I don't know who all these other people were, because I don't have a lot of, I can tell you that I've had to let go of a lot of people in my life for my peace and to focus on myself and my healing and my ascension journey, and now doing my spiritual life purpose work to assist others. And so I was like, who are these people? I assumed that they were, his family, because he has a big family and I don't. So we were walking through the neighborhood and my twin had followed us. Like, I guess I told him, hey, you can come along if you want, just hang out with us for a little bit if you want. And he was like, okay. Well, he just kind of tagged along behind me and in the group and was just like watching me from behind. And it was so weird. I could feel like he was just like, how you get that feeling when somebody's staring at you, like really heavy. I got that feeling when he was walking behind me, like he was staring at me. Anyway, this is just like a story. I don't know why I'm rambling on this, but I just felt guided to share it. Maybe it'll, resonate for somebody. Maybe they had a similar dream about their twin. But what I was going to share was about 3 weeks ago, I had the opposite dream happen right before I came to this ending with my now ex-boyfriend that I just broke it off with this week. And it was the opposite. And I think there's no coincidence in that. I didn't know that ending was going to happen. I had been feeling like we were coming to a place where me and my ex then boyfriend was maybe coming into it, where we needed to make a decision to move forward or not, because the cycles kept repeating. They weren't getting any better. We had gotten a lot of growth out of this. We both had grown a lot and healed a lot through this last year in this relationship, but then certain wounds kept being triggered and he wasn't going in and working on them. Then my daughter needed to work on some healing due to her father abandonment wound. And there was like a sense of rejection from both of them. They were triggering each other in this rejection wound and abandonment wound. And it just got to a point where I feel like it wasn't getting any better and I didn't know whether I should move forward or not. And then no coincidence that 3 weeks later, after I had this dream I'm about to share, it ended where I dreamt that I was starting to surrender to my twin, and I dreamt that he came back in my life he came and apologized, came to my house and apologized, made peace, and we started talking and hanging out like as friends. Here goes Ariel. We started talking and hanging out as friends and just taking it slow, right? And so we were hanging out a lot. And he was coming over and just hanging out. We were talking, watching movies, whatever. Okay, just nothing romantic. It was just, in a sense, we're just as friends. And then I was on a break at the time in the dream. I was on a break from my then boyfriend, which, is now my ex. The same one we had the dream together about my twin. I was talking in the driveway to my twin who came over to hang out. We were just talking. And I hadn't heard from my ex-boyfriend for, I guess, 2 to 3 weeks or so. And he just showed up. He drove up and he parked. He saw that somebody was in the middle of the driveway and couldn't come in the driveway, and he parked like one house down on the curb. Well, he came up and he saw me talking to my twin and he was like, "Hey, I've been trying to get a hold of you. Like, what's this going on? Who's this?" And I told him who he was. I said, "This is my twin. I told you about him," and I told him his name, and he was like, "Okay." Like, I feel like he was perplexed, like, "Why are you entertaining him again?" kind of thing. And he's like, "Well, I've been trying to get a hold of you. I haven't heard from you at all," whatever. And I was like, "Well, we agreed that we were going to take a break for a couple months, and then I was open to date others if somebody came in my life. I wasn't going to go looking for it, but I had opened my heart to love, and I was willing to entertain others." I said, and I was very clear about that. And you understood, and you said you're okay with that. And he showed up to make peace, and we started hanging out. He was so hurt. He has this thing where when he gets really upset, he rips his shirt off. And he did that in my dream, and he started crying. And he was walking away to his truck. And I ran after him. I'm like, "Where are you going? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you." And I started crying. And he was like, "It's okay. It's okay. Just move on. Do what you need to do. Make yourself happy." And he left. And I was crying and I felt so bad, but it's so crazy because that's kind of in the way how it ended between us. I was choosing myself and I knew I deserved better, and he knew too, but he had trouble letting go of me. And I told him, I said, "We're going to have to give each other space. Even if we're going to be friends down the road, we have to give each other space to heal and detach from each other. If we're going to continue to want this down the road as friends, even just distant friends, like, well, we don't talk very often. We're going to have to get this distance and this space between us to heal." And it's just, anyway, I was just sharing that for you guys. I guess somebody needed to hear that. Maybe that'll help somebody. But I think it's crazy. I don't remember a lot of my dreams at all, but I've had several dreams about my twin over the last 2 years especially since we've been in separation, no contact. Well, it's been 1.5 years. And I just think it's interesting, and maybe that'll resonate for somebody. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. What other signs of confirmation do you have for the collective at this time? What do they need to know for their highest and greatest good? I'm going to have to cut this short here a little bit, and we'll kind of go from there. Do we have particular names, Spirit? I'm hearing Rosado. I don't know if that's a last name. Rosado. I just heard Mary Magdalene. Maybe you're working with Ascended Masters and Mary Magdalene, maybe in your energy assisting you on your ascension and healing journey. Wow. I just heard Moldavite. That's been coming out a lot the last few days. You may be guided to work with Moldavite. A lot of stones coming out today. Thank you, Spirit. These are things that could assist you in healing on your journey to move forward, okay? there's a lot of emotional healing going on around this full moon. It's a very heavily emotional full moon for healing your heart space, releasing old grief from past on loved ones, things like that. Any kind of thing that has been stunted or held back or not released fully around this full moon is being guided for everybody to release. Okay, so I'm going to put heavy emotional release around this full moon so we can move forward with our lives. Because a lot of these emotions have been stuck down. And again, we've probably only done a few layers of the grieving and release, and they get stuck. A lot of times it's painful to think about past and loved ones, and we get stuck in our healing journey. And that can keep us stuck in our love life too, stuck in heavy emotional patterns of maybe not being fully emotional and open up emotionally to somebody, or too much and overgiving and then getting hurt. And then you shut down your heart space. How it resonates. Sunflower, getting sunflowers may be a sign or synchronicity for somebody. I'm seeing ospreys. Maybe some of you are seeing ospreys. You can look up the spiritual meaning of an osprey. There may be a message there for you. Maybe some of you are seeing a lot of different types of birds coming up. And it could be signs from, your spirit guides, your angels, your past and loved ones will speak a lot through nature. Signs and synchronicities. So a lot of those things are in front of us every day, and we don't always see them for what they are. But when we begin to heal and ascend, our intuition starts tightening, and we start picking up on those signs that were always there along the way. And then we start remembering, oh, I saw this when this happened. Oh my goodness. And you start tying things together. Like I was seeing hummingbirds, a year ago. I had a hummingbird come in my garage. I never seen that happen before. It literally flew up in my garage and hovered there right in front of me for like 5 or 10 seconds. And I just was shocked. I just stood there and I looked at it. Why would it come into my garage? There's nothing in my garage that would need, but it was a sign for me. And then when I looked it up, sure enough, it was a sign for me. I was like, wow. Because it was at that time I started a new love relationship, and it brought a lot of healing. It did bring a lot of healing for me, even though it hurt also. There was a lot of lessons I needed to learn with that. There was a lot of emotional healing. And, my sacral chakra was being cleared through this person who did offer a large sense of protection. And so there was a side of me that had been not really felt seen, or like I could really fully up, like a flower opening up, like a lotus flower opening up is what I'm getting in my mind's eye. So again, every relationship that comes in your life, even if it's karmic, it brings a level of healing and ascension and learning lessons, as long as you're open to the lessons and open to introspecting and looking at how you showed up as well. Things that you could have done that could have aided in maybe karmic toxicity coming from a wounded place. Again, you don't mean to do a lot of things. You really don't. It comes from being wounded. And a lot of that could be, abandonment wounds and emotional wounds from your past that you're just being guided to look at again and try to heal. I'm hearing Stratford, solitude. Again, that's not solitude. You're in isolation, solitude, or hermit mode. I'm getting right now, a lot of you are healing maybe after a turbulent relationship situation maybe coming to an end, or something in your life. Okay, hermit mode, introspecting. And some of those cards may come out when I pull them here in a minute. I'm seeing the swan card in this animal spirit confirmation deck. I'm seeing the yin yang. So this could be a twin flame. Again, if you don't resonate as twin flame, just, you can take, not take that. Okay. But I'm seeing the two swans, the black swan and the white swan, intermingled, like their necks are like curved around each other. So there could be yin yang here, light and dark, your shadow and light side. Maybe you're integrating your shadow and light side through a recent ending in your life. You're learning to take back your power in your life and choose yourself and your happiness, and maybe some your children too. That's been coming out real heavy this week. Choosing your own. Oh, I'm getting signs of confirmation, goosebumps. Okay, that is a confirmation. That's for somebody. I might pull from that deck too. I did just hear twin flame. Okay, we'll see what comes out in the confirmation cards, the message cards. I just heard Raymond, Sherry. And again, if I upload this page to my community page and your name isn't spelled right, but it's the same name, take it, okay? Because I only write what I think it's spelled right, okay? Take it as a sign. Again, Stephen, Rachel, Stacy, Trish or Trisha. All right, we're going to move on to the confirmation deck here. See what comes out. First of all, I want to pull from the stones and see. I have created a separate deck here. I have pre-shuffled these. I'm going to shuffle again. Oops, I get them right. Okay. I want to make sure they're all right set up. Okay, shuffle one. Moldavite. Right when I split the deck the second time after I shuffled Moldavite, I was guided to look down, maybe guided to get that Moldavite. Again, I've always say this when I bring that up. I've done some research on it. I want to look that up. I've touched that stone in a spiritual shop. It is highly energetic, and only use it in short spurts, like hold it for maybe 1 or 2 minutes or a few minutes at a time, especially at first, and try to ground yourself maybe with a more grounding stone, like black obsidian, however you're guided. Okay. Make sure it's a grounding stone, and or put your bare feet on the ground when you're using it. Cause I feel like you're going to need to be grounded with that because it's highly energetic. It's for accelerating spiritual awakening, trigger profound changes, and connect to higher cosmic realms. It's for the crown, third eye, and heart chakras. I got signs of confirmation, goosebumps. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, let me see if anything more comes out of this deck, and I'll move on to the other one. Okay, I'm getting a lot of heart chakra, the sacral chakra, carnelian. Yeah, what did I say? Sacral chakra, and peach moonstone right behind it, and black obsidian right behind it. Okay, so these are signs of confirmation. I'm going to end on those with that deck. Okay, move on to the other one. So black obsidian, it's good for stone of truth. So if you want to speak your truth to somebody or know the truth about something or someone or a situation, it's a good grounding stone to get. Protection and shielding against negativity, grounding scattered energy, facilitate deep emotional healing through shadow work. No, there's no coincidence these are coming out, okay? Peach moonstone, emotional healing. Again, a lot of heavy emotional healing is going on. You're being guided to use these stones. Again, use your intuition with all these messages. Emotional healing release blockages, enhances intuition, stimulates creativity and artistic expression. That sacral chakra. Okay, you guys are being guided to get this to assist you. And I was getting that sacral chakra. Stimulates creativity and artistic expression, soothes anxiety, personal empowerment, feminine hormones. That's if you're a feminine, okay? It'll assist your hormones. Carnelian is the artist stone. That's an orange stone. You may be guided to wear orange, or maybe you were attracted to orange stuff right now, okay? That's for your sacral chakra. The color is a frequency, okay? That matches like your sacral chakra. The artist stone, motivation, boldness, courage, vitality, taking action. Sacral or solar plexus, willpower, self-esteem. So if you've been feeling like you don't know if you have enough, to offer people and you're not good enough, that's a good stone to get too. Okay. All right, Spirit. This is my chakras little deck I got here. Spirit, what do they need to know? Which one? Okay. Root chakra. You maybe got to look at your root chakra. Maybe this is affecting your finances too. Maybe the color red is significant for some people. Maybe you have a red car, I'm getting, for some of you, and or the color red. Maybe you like the color red or you wear red. It's for grounding, security, your stability, your earth energy. Okay. That grounding. Any more out of this deck, Spirit? Split. Okay. Heart chakra. Right on top, on the other side, heart chakra. Green, pink. Maybe you got to wear green or pink lately. Love, compassion, forgiveness, empathy. Solar plexus chakra right behind that. Okay. Personal power, self-esteem, willpower, digestion, yellow, and fire. So some of you may be guided to wear yellow too. So I'm going to move on to the large deck here and see what else comes out. Thank you, Spirit, for these things that'll heal us, that'll help us. Thank you for these. Marriage, sign of confirmation for somebody. I always get messages when I split decks. Look, the other side of the deck. Look at this. Release and fully grieve passed on loved ones. What was I saying? Oh, I got goosebumps, signs of confirmation. Thank you, Spirit. This is part of what you're being guided to release right now. You can get these stones to assist you. Don't stop. Keep moving forward. Okay. If you're doing creative pursuits and you're feeling a block or feeling scared to start something, don't stop. Keep moving forward. Take action steps. Work past your fears. Work on this heart chakra healing and releasing these past on loved ones, the grief too. But don't stop doing it. Keep doing that and keep working on it as you're trying to take action on new projects. You are worthy right behind it. Can't make it up. Look, I'm getting back-to-back messages. Black hair may be significant for some of you. Again, take it only if it resonates for you. You are enough. You're being told you're enough for whatever you're being guided to pull towards to do. Okay. Grieving. Can't make it up right behind it. I don't fix cards, you guys. I was shuffling. I've shuffled this about 6 times and then I shuffled it another time or two. I'm telling you, this abandonment wounds. What did I say? Abandonment wounds. Okay. Abandonment wounds, deep emotional trauma from early experiences of neglect, rejection, loss, or abuse. And that could be emotional abuse too. Emotional manipulation and control. Illusions are clouding your judgment. Seek clarity. That's that introspection time. Okay. You're being guided to go within at hermit mode right now. There's illusions. There's something that's you're not seeing. Maybe it's a pattern that you've had, like what I've found recently once I took the leap of faith and decided to end that relationship that was really hurting everybody involved. I chose love. I chose out of love to release that person for everybody involved, because that person was, in a way, a sense of codependent. And I was too, back and forth. We were going back and forth. We go through separation, and we would always get pulled back together because of a lack of worth. And it comes from abandonment wounds, okay, for both of us. Maybe you're going through the same thing, okay? Nature spirit, some of you are nature lovers, or you love being out in nature. You may connect with nature spirits and elementals. So stop. Spirit is talking. What did I get at the beginning of this message? I'm sorry. Sign of confirmation. What is this? Mother wound. So maybe some of you are working on healing a mother wound right now. Emotional deprivation and self-worth issues, people pleasing or self-sacrifice. Fear of abandonment or rejection. New love relationship is coming in. Thank you, Spirit. Sign of confirmation for some of you. So if you've been worried about maybe leaving a situation, whether you're going to attract new love or whatever, you're being told there's new love coming in now. If you make this decision to release what's not for your highest good, what's not giving you peace and security and stability. So really stability, that root chakra. Introspection is needed. Sign of confirmation, what I was getting. Okay. If it is meant to be, it will return in divine timing. Trust in the divine. Wow. Okay. Queen of Pentacles right after that. A lot of you, if you are a feminine energy, you're like a divine feminine, you're in your Queen of Pentacles. You're working towards your financial stability right now. You're working on that root chakra. Practical abundance, financial security, domestic warmth, and grounded nurturing. Maybe your mothers, okay? And you're in that Queen of Pentacles energy. Ancestral healing right behind it, okay? King of Cups right behind that. You have a King of Cups coming in your energy. You have a king. Oh, I'm getting signs of confirmation, goosebumps. So this new love that's coming in or coming back, take it however it resonates. You might have two people, okay? If you've been feeling that, then that's a sign of confirmation for you. But somebody that is already in your energy that wants to come in is a King of Cups energy. Okay. Ancestral healing, generational curse breaker. A lot of you are choosing to look at these patterns in your family like I was. And when you take a leap of faith and you make an ending for everybody's highest good out of love, because maybe they're wounded and they can't let go of you, you have to make those boundaries and you have to choose love and to release them to their highest good so they can not be stuck on their healing journey and they can come into their wish fulfillment if they choose that. Okay. Again, it's a free will choice on their part. You have to do what's right for you and or children if there's children involved. And then once I took that leap of faith, I got those divine downloads that it was an ancestral curse that I just broke. Okay. But you got to do it in a leap of faith. Okay. King of Cups energy, emotional maturity, compassion, balance, grounded, calm amidst chaos, water signs, diplomatic. So again, it doesn't have to be water sign. That water doesn't have to be prominent in your chart. This is just energy. Okay. Somebody that's emotionally in tune, that's in connect with their emotions. They show affection and love through maybe physical touch, acts of service, gift giving. Okay. That's a very nurturing, loving, masculine energy that wants to show up and love on people. Okay. I don't feel good enough or I don't have much to offer. So a lot of what has been keeping a lot of us stuck is not feeling good enough. And that comes from a worthiness wound, not feel worthy. And abandonment, it comes from that abandonment wound. So you're being guided to look at these abandonment wounds and heal them. Okay. Healer, you're being told that you're a healer for the collective. You are a healer. Archangel Chamuel, sign of confirmation, what I was getting when I channeled through earlier. Archangel Chamuel, peaceful relationships, heal broken relationships, love, and pink. Sign of confirmation. Look inward. The answer you seek is not outside of you. Look within. You're being told again, this introspection time. Chaotic energy may have been going on around you. Okay. This may be a sign of confirmation. You're being guided to let go of the chaos, get peace back in your life. Someone in your energy is envious or jealous. Keep your focus on yourself and your healing and what you want to build for yourself. These are signs from spirit. Emperor is in your energy. Either you're in Emperor energy. If you're feminine, you're taking control of your life. You're being the provider, the protector, you're being all of the above. You have to embody that before you can attract it in your life, an emperor in your life. Order, stability, authority, structure, fatherly protection, Aries, strategic thinking, leadership, and discipline to establish firm foundations. Okay, I'm going to end this. 99, someone just fell out of this deck. Now, you might be seeing the number 99. Step into your higher purpose, completion of a major life cycle, and the beginning of a new spiritual journey. Release the past. Again, release the past. Woo! Thank you, Spirit. Your psychic abilities are growing or new gifts are coming in. You are coming into divine union. So in divine timing, it was right behind that. Look, you are coming into a divine union in divine timing. Okay. Soon. And it says soon. Archangel Michael is protecting this connection and protecting you both. Okay. Leader protection. Some of you are spiritual leaders. Life purpose. He's assisting you with moving forward towards your life purpose. Okay. Sign of confirmation. This is going to be the last one. Oh, last two. Okay. Karmic relationship. Some of you are choosing to end a karmic relationship at this time. Intense and often turbulent, resolved unfinished business, heal past wounds, facilitate personal development, recurring patterns and challenges, not long-term. It was a relationship that was not meant to be long-term, and Cardinals was right behind it. What was I getting? You may be seeing different birds, signs from your passed on loved ones in spirit, your guides, your angels. Departed loved ones or angelic presence, hope and new beginnings, embrace confidence and healthy boundaries. And what? Right behind it. That was on the other side of this. We are guiding you. Your passed on loved ones are help guiding you again together, maybe towards a divine union. Marriage came out, remember? This could result in marriage. One or both. If you have more than one, look at this. I have been watching you on your social media platform. I got to wrap this up, guys. So, and 222, sign of synchronicity, what I pulled. I was right behind it. 222. All right. I'm going to move on. Thank you, Spirit, for these signs of confirmation. I got to go. I hope this gave you some clarification and confirmation for you on your healing and ascension journey. Please let me know if it did resonate for you, if it helped you in some way. I love hearing that. Please like, comment, subscribe as you're guided to. I really assist all of your assistance with that on my channel. We're on this journey together, okay? And again, let me know if it helped. I leave you in love and light. Take care.